Hey, Sandra. How are you, Sandra? I need to time myself for some reason. So let's see, who do we have? Greetings. Hi, Irene. How are you today? Who else do we have? It's a Friday. I said to the people in a WhatsApp group, "Hi, Christ Lex." I said to the people in a WhatsApp group that we're going to be starting at 9. So the reason why I'm jumping in on earlier is just to check up the network and just touch a bit on what we spoke about yesterday. Hi, Tabile. How are you, Tabile? So, Bradley. So for the people that are not here yesterday, we were speaking about sex. Yeah. It's that month, Mas. I see that Tabile is here, Irene is here. Let's wait for a few people to come in through while the network obviously needs to work with me. Paul G. Who else do we have? Hey, hi, be kind. How are you? Nawe ukhona, nam khona. Hey, Posh and Daniels. I also want to check out the network. If you see it bouncing, don't worry. I'm trying to change up the mode of connection. So for us to have a stable kind of type of shandies. Because Leona, it tends to be one of those, lower vibrational stuff that tend to pull you down. Why such a name? I regret. All right. Would you care to join us and tell us what the heck with the name? Sissy Paul, how are you, Sissy Paul? Nikita, thank you very much. I can see already. Gifts. So for the people that are here, if you're wondering what is it that Nikita is doing, Nikita is gifting up to the channel because the channel is a self-funded kind of type of thingy, and it helps us with the algorithm to get things like the daughters for this obviously broadcast to reach a whole lot amount of people. And if you're here for the first time, if something just blew you to this page, you should not be shocked that we're going to be talking about a couple of things that might disturb a bit of your fabric of reality. On this channel, we advocate for things like you are not your body having a human. You are not a human being having a spiritual experience, but you are a spiritual being having a human experience. So we're taking it a little bit unorthodox because that's exactly what we're talking about today. I want us to talk about this issue of initiation. You hear it being talked a lot about, this will tell you initiation is that, this will tell this one will tell you initiation is that. Some people even sell it to your ass. They'll be like, yeah, I'm selling initiation sessions. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, have we really, really forgotten ourselves to that extent? But if you care to know more about such things, join us for the next couple of minutes. It's gonna be fireworks. Even if I have to say so myself. So be kind, thank you very much for the rose. Nikita, I can see that you already sent in the likes. The people that were here yesterday, you will know that we spoke about sex. But we didn't only speak about it in this way, we spoke about it as a internal regenerative process. You'll probably know if you are into Eastern philosophy or if you are into ancient texts, if you're too much into this, if you got a knack for some research, you will know that the monks, these people that you see in Tibetan mountains or these people that you'll see in India, these are the people that have dedicated their life to 100% celibacy. So they don't mate, they don't lay the pipe. So, somehow I knew that this topic is going to get out of hand. Even for myself, every time when I speak about sex, it's a party in my head. And I can just imagine what happens in yours. So these guys, they don't engage in any form of mating. So they don't take out the seed. You know almost what the seed is. that thing that normally comes out when people are, So the reason why I find myself having to clothe some subjects, I've learned quite recently that a lot of people that are showing interest to the channel are people that are very young. And equally, I understand that we're having some people that are in the mid-ages, like 30s, and I understand we also have people that are in the 50s plus. But it fascinated me that, when we're dealing with people that are around about like 18 years younger or 21 years and younger, we're dealing with people that are very creative mentally. So you don't want to be selling up these talks, but also making it a nudity subject. But we can avoid some of the subjects. So nonetheless, if you're new here to the page, that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Some days I understand that you're not going to be able to get what is it that I'm saying, but some days hopefully you do. So I try to make it as understandable as possible. So when I was speaking about sex, particularly coming to these monks, these guys, they never copulate. They never take out the seed. They never ejaculate. They never exchange sexual fluids, if you want to put it like that. And for some reason, they will always tell you that there's something magical that happens when you engage in celibacy. When you don't take the things out, there is some sort of cellular repairs, genetical awakening. That energy that you call the Kundalini that everybody's talking about, everywhere you go to YouTube, you go to Facebook, you get to books, everybody's talking about the third eye, the Kundalini. It has a lot to do with that. But this, not in a sense of taking it out, but actually putting it in. Not in a literal sense of you being a swallower, but basically meaning, if you don't waste yourself, let me make it a bit palpable. Let me quote from the religious text. Let's quote from the Bible. I think it's in a book of Colossians, or it's in a book of Corinthians. I'm not quite sure. The scripture goes on something like this: if you squander your seed, you are committing sin. The Bible goes something like that. It says, if you're squandering the seed, you are committing the sin. So in actual fact, what it means is, if you taking something out, you are killing yourself in a way. Have you ever experienced this thing that most of the times after the whole sexual exercise, and once everything is done, you get this thing like temporary death kind of type. You're like, basically it means you just took out the life force. If you don't understand what life force is, did you know that this exercise of sex, it's so powerful? It's not only medicinal, but it's so powerful that it can bring a human being to this earth. That's why your sexual organs, that's why your reproduction area, it's called a life force. But if you tend to understand that if you don't waste it, there is something else that it does. It might not be what you can see with your eyes, but you will know that fasting, in a way, celibacy, if you fasting there's a lot of people that give out a lot of piece jobs, So, Machawa, I can see that you shared the page. Thank you very much. Shao, I can see that you joined. There's 10 of us in here. I understand it's a Friday morning. Obviously, we're not going to be, but I like them when they intimate, I like them when they small in a number, because I don't believe anymore in coincidences. There are no such things as coincidences. What happens in our lives is meaningful moments. This is what Carl Gustav Jung calls power of synchronicity. The more you align to nature, the more you align to love, the more you align to joy, the more you align to peace, the universe as well, the earth as well gets aligned to you. So you get a lot of things that happen, and some of them, when you look at them, you're like, hey, boo. Just when I ran out of money, something happened. Just when I ran out of this, something happened. Just when I got late to work, somebody got in an accident. These things are not coincidences. This is when the universe, this is when the spirit, Christians call it Holy Spirit. This is when the Holy Spirit, ancestors, obviously we call them spirits. This is when the universe takes care of you because you've shown an intention to repair the universe, to dress up Mother Earth. Because in case you're not aware, what we've been doing to Earth, it's been a lot of injustice. Unless you've been living in a rock somewhere, you don't know the catastrophic acts that we've committed to the universe. We hate people, we cut down trees, we kill people, we rape people. We do a whole lot amount of things that initially it's not us. We are peaceful beings by nature, by the way, in case you haven't picked it up. Mr. Mia, hey Pox. Let's see, who else do we have? So even you guys on a Friday morning, you still decide to tune in. Okay. Must be a party happening here. So, I was just briefing the people as to what we spoke about yesterday. Yesterday we were speaking about sex. But not sex in a sense of taking out, but sex in a sense of regenerative process. There are studies that are being conducted that some form of celibacy has some form of spiritual inclination. So the more you don't procreate, the more you don't, bounce it all around, the more you don't give out the peace jobs, if you conserve that energy, something magical starts happening in you. It's just that, scientific fraternity hasn't coined it yet, but I can give it to you for free. This energy that you call the Kundalini, that is there by your lower chakras, it has something to do with the seed that you exchange during sexual exercise. When you do sex, you exchange fluids. It depends which mode do you normally prefer. Do you go fluid, or do you go plastic fluid? It just depends. But it turns out as well, when you do this sexual kind of type of action, you're not only exchanging fluids, you're also exchanging energies. Yeah. Some people call it karmic substance. Karmic substance is nothing but your body has piled up over time. You probably know about the karma story, ne? Reincarnation kind of type of shandes. So your body has a certain amount of karmic memory. So if you're laying with somebody, you're not only exchanging the fluids, but you're also taking the energies. So unfortunately, we're not those people. When you are a mate with somebody, you don't ask them, are your chakras aligned? You don't do that. I mean, it's not the way how we normally, get laid. But unfortunately, if you were to get in contact with somebody that is having a bit of a complex karmic substance, you're going to inherit it as well. The difference about this is, are you aware that you're doing it? If you're not, I just made you aware. Cool. And not hoping to stress you up, but just to, hey, Gabetu, I see you, Criselda. Good morning, how are you? Let's talk about today's subject. I think I pretty much covered what we spoke about yesterday, but I mean, you guys should have been here yesterday. Is it on? Is it? It looks a bit on. It looks like it's on. Cool. So, oh yeah, you back. You back and you black. So you guys should have been here yesterday. We had a whole lot amount of fun. Some interesting things about sex that we shared. On a lighter note, did you guys know that a pig ejaculates for 30 minutes at the go? So a pig can have an orgasm that lasts 30 minutes. So there's a lot that we don't know about this thing of, 30 minutes at the go, just be going. Imagine. Why do you think pigs' offsprings, they tend to be so large in number? It's because of that. When the brother goes down, and the sister gets ready to receive. So, yeah, all of a sudden you wanna. So that's one of the things that we shared. And in an animal kingdom, uh, we have species that are known to do very magical things, especially when it comes to this intimate kind of type of sex kind of type of, you will know the praying mantis. This one here beats a muddy face. That greenish kind of type of thing. I send a thing in a group, the picture in a group where it is told that during the sexual act, the female mantis bites the head of the male mantis while it's busy at work. As he's busy. But the smartest thing that nature has it's as follows. The male mantis, it's supposed to die, obviously after copulating. But the way how it happens, dedicating yourself up to the act to a point where you're willing to even give your head. I mean, if talking about sacrifice, that's an ultimate type of sacrifice. But nature, the magical way on how it does it is, the male mantis, it takes out the lower parts of its brain. It sends it back to the tip of its ass, the whole body kind of type of thingy. So that while it's busy doing it, even though the head has been decapitated, it can still go on and it can orgasm or it can ejaculate or it can implant the semen specimen in so that it can perpetuate its genealogy. It gives its life for the next generation. Think about that. There are a lot of spiders as well that do that. After it mates, it automatically dies. There's a lot of things that happen with nature that just leaves you baffled. Which is why I have a bit of a problem as to why we keep on insisting on wanting to box nature. Why we insist on wanting to control nature. Nature does not need our help. Mr. Me, what you're saying, we've missed the plot completely. We've missed it completely. We think that if nature gives you seasonal plants or seasonal fruits or seasonal veggies or seasonal crops, you think that you can help nature by forcefully making sure that you get watermelon all year round, by making sure that you get the tomato all year round, by making sure that you get the apple all year round. Nature does not work like that. Nature is timely. Nature never misses a beat. And if ever it happens that you want to help it, you're going to pay for it. Check what we did with the food. We insisted that, if we want a banana all through, we're going to have to genetically modify the food. And I can just imagine the whole thing, the way how it plays out. Probably nature's just sitting there checking us out, is thinking, hey, check these ones out, They want to implant chemicals in a food that is supposed to nourish their bodies, to ensure their existence. And now they wonder, when this body starts breaking apart and breaking down because of those food, because they are not natural. The body, it's supposed to live on what is natural. But we insist on, saying, no, we can, genetically implant these food so that people can never run out of food. Nature is not designed like that. Nature, it's not all about pleasure, in case you haven't figured it out. Nature, it's not all about goodies and goodies. I mean, that's why I laugh a lot with the people. Hey, Bantatile, true, nature provides all year long anyway. There's different foods for different seasons. Yo, guys, they even made me, hey, I'm shocked. Mr. Me, when it came to the meat, I was shocked to my pants out. Let me tell you the bit of a story about the meat. The meat content, or the so-called meat that we eat these days, it's nothing but 85% plastic. Yeah, you heard me. Like this. Polyanthic plastic. They can be able to take it, put whatever that they put in it. Beautiful, smart chemists, they come and they break it down. All that they do is they give you just bits and pieces of the so-called meat. And it's not even from the natural meat itself, but it's from the stem cells. Let me show you how deep this thing goes. Out of a stem cell, I can make you. Out of your stem cell, I can make you, meaning I can clone you. This is one of the reports that were published or declassified, I think, in 1994. Here we are, we're learning only now that the business of cloning is new. No, it's not. It's been, you know. So it was only declassified in 1994, but you can just imagine how many things have been done. Now, this is what happens. If I take a stem cell out of an organ or an organelle, I can replicate that organelle from that stem cell infinite amount of times. So now it gets a bit stranger that the meat that we eat is not only synthetic, but it's highly dead substance. It's like making a copy of a copy. So the meat that we eat these days, it's nothing not only but plastic. If it's not plastic, if they get to get away with it, the poor animals that give us the so-called meat have to go through horrifying lifetime. I mean, you get, these days, you get a chicklet, or you get a chick. 2 days later, it's a full-blown chicken. Not like 2 weeks, not 2 months. No. You guys are thinking, this thing, the game is on, bros. So genetically, it can be mutated to become a full-grown chicken the next day. And guess what happens? Where it gets a bit trickier and much more darker. Any living thing, like a chicken, the T-bone steak that you like, the bacon, or even including yourself, you have these things that we call genes. Every living organ has a genome structure. So almost the DNA, your helix, your RNA, that difficult kind of type of science. The long and short of it is you got genes. Now, primarily, genes have a lot of things that they need to do, but the biggest job of the genes is to store memories. Your genes, it's something like, when you have a memory card or when you have a USB, your gene is something like that. It has stored information. It's just that you haven't happened to access that information. In a scientific fraternity, those are what are called junk DNA. Junk DNA are the genes that have not yet been able to be interpreted. You will know that it's strongly discouraged for you as of an African descent to believe that you have junk DNA. You don't have junk DNA. You got melanin, you got ancestral memory that is in you, that you somehow you can't even explain. The bestest people that tried to come about with it were Indians when they said the Akashic record. That's the bestest. So there's no such a thing as a junk DNA, by the way. Back to the subject of the day, just now I'll go there. We were talking about the dangers of the meat. So when you're eating the meat, depending the conditions of where that chicken came from or that sheep came from, if maybe perhaps it was abused, which often they were overfed, antibiotics, which by the way all of them are. Antibiotics, when you feed them to the animals, they tend to fuck around with their whole genome structure. The chicklet thinks it's still the chicklet. 2 days later, it's a full-blown chicken. So basically, it messes the whole genome structure away. So when you eat that chicken, you're not only eating the chicken, but you're eating the chicken's memories. You're eating the cow's memories. You're eating the pain. You're eating the chemicals. You're eating the antibiotics. You're eating all the fluoride. You're eating each and every single chemical that animal had to be fed. Why do you think that there are multiple amount of scientific experiments that show you that a lot of people that tend to eat red meat, they are prone to anger? It's just like that. Why? Because when you eat that red meat, what happens is you tend to inhibit or to eat or to... it's like you're not only eating the physical substance, you're also eating the non-physical substance. Yeah, they'll tell you that this one has been put under this radar, has been pasteurized, has been put under UV ray. It's SABS approved. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We know spirit things don't work like that. You can't box nature. You can't define nature. Nature is just like this. Now, so don't get me started with food. It's a bit of a messy game, bros. Now, coming back to this topic of the initiation that I want us to talk about today. Don't mind that. I wanna get to this. Hey, McNeil is in the house. Yeah, yeah. Ben, where have you been? Huh? I wanna scold you because Luena normally, whenever when I mess up a session, you scold me for hours and hours. I wanna, where have you been? I mean, what do you think we had to go through just missing you like that? You know, yeah, like it's like. You see, you just wondering. Come on, man. It's a V12 up in here, hey? You better believe it. So, or V18, or whatever that has never been coined. So, I want us to speak about this thing of initiation. I'm going off the subject completely. And, oh, for the people that are new here, I see that you guys are just commenting. I didn't see you guys knocking in. It's like you snuck in. I don't see the people that are sitting down here, but I see like it's 24 of us. If you're new here to the page, if you like what we're talking about, or what we're not talking about, or even if you hate it for that matter, follow the brother, like the page, comment, paste whatever that you're feeling, paste whatever that you want to say. If you want to say hi, paste it down here. You can share the page as well. You can love it. You can share the prayers. You can send the good intentions. Do whatever that you want to do with the page. A lot of people have been asking me if I'm recording these sessions. Yeah, I had to now because these are big files. A lot of people have been asking me to send it to them privately. So I thought to myself, you know what? I have a YouTube channel. So what I did, the full session, the way how it is, without comments, obviously, without people being known who's here, just that's the way how it is. Downloaded it. I didn't edit it. I didn't take nothing out. It's quite long. It's an hour and 46 minutes. Particularly, I started with the one that we did yesterday when we were talking about sex, because it was a beautiful session. You can join in there. Go check it out. Download it then, comment it, cut it, hate it, love it, delete it, re-download it, replay it, comment on it, like it, subscribe to the channel, do whatever that you want to do with it. Thank you very much for the gifts, guys. I can see you. I want to get to the topic. I just getting the whole advertisement out of the way. And lastly, we still have the retreat. It's still ongoing. I'll share later about it because it tends to take a bit long. I want to let you guys know about the new developments that we've got to, because we're making strides. We want to get done with this booking so that we're getting ready, preparing ourselves. Especially, I would like hello baby. I like the people that are going there, or the people that are showing interest or that want to go. I want us to get in a bit of a kind of type of cleansing. And the cleansing that we're going to get into, it's not going to be a deep kind of stuff, you know. It's just a bit of fasting, this and that, because when we go there, it's going to be a party. Sparks are going to fly. So it's by the end of March. If you want to know more about it, let me know. If you're in a WhatsApp group, let me know. If you're not, wait for me to talk about it later on. Back to the business of the day. That's it. Ciao. I can see that everybody's here. Let's speak about the initiation. A lot of us somehow might have heard this word. A lot of us might not have such a good experience with this word. You know, when people say initiation, they're like, hey, no, you created this one. No, leave the baby. This is my channel. The baby must start her own channel. Then you can say hi to her own channel, not here. This is my spotlight. All the attention must come to me here. So, hi, Joy. Joy, you here again? Whoa. I'm just laying up a bit of a platform, though, just to let you guys know what is it that we're going to be talking about today at 2 o'clock. Today, I want us to talk about this issue of initiation. Mostly, I want us to talk about what is not initiation. I was at this subject of saying a lot of people might have had a bit of a brush with this word. Maybe your family member might have went through it. Maybe somebody that you know might have went through it. Maybe even your own ass had to go through it. No meeting. Oh, no, Ziakala, yeah, we here. So, uh, this obviously has something to do with not an everyday stuff. It's not the topic that you hear people talking about it a lot, because every time when you speak about spiritual things, people tend to shy back. They're like, hey, kema, kema. But unfortunately, if you like it or not, let me give you a bit of a shocker. And now let's be scientific to show you that we're not playing around here. If you are into number 2, just here by me. Okay. All right. There's a bit of a business happening here. So, so if you are into astrology or astronomy, or if you have a little bit of a background in geography, you will know that the axis that we're on, it's not stable. It's always shifting. This thing that we call the globe. Some people call it the tectonic shift. Some people call it continental drift. Some people have some fancy words about this thing, but the earth or the world, this roundish thing that we're on, it's not standing still. It's on a constant reverberation. It's always moving. Bum, 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 bum. You might not hear it, but you can manipulate others into talking about it. Oh, you like that? You sneak it in. You like what pumps your heart? Because I know some brothers that are very smart. When they introduce the spiritual talks, they'll be like, what do you think pumps your heart? What do you think flows your blood? And people will be like, yeah, I haven't seen it. Then they introduce the topic. You gotta be smart like that. So if you're into astrology, you will know that, or if you're into observing the procession of the equinoxes, or summer solstices and winter solstices, a bit of astrology, a whole lot of cumbersome of words, but all that it means is the earth is moving. That's all that I know. You will know that we are in an age now that is called the Aquarian age, or the Aquarius age. Some of the things, there's a lot of things that are known about this age, but what I like about it is this is the age of knowing. This is the age of you getting in contact with yourself. Remember, our elders used to say, man, know thyself. You were told, or we were told, or you read it somewhere. Now, the time that we are on is, your ass is ought to know itself. How do you recognize that? A lot of people are getting into depression. All of a sudden, people are talking about depression here, depression there. A lot of people are getting into anxiety. A lot of people are having sleepless nights. A lot of people are experiencing heightened amount of pains. Oh my word, speaking about this issue of pains, have you ever had such a pain whereby literally you can't breathe? You feel like something is just sitting here, and it might be relationship, it might be financial, it might be emotional, which I don't wish for anybody. But either way, your ass is still going to have to go through a hoop or two, just to forewarn you, as a brother, to be like, yeah. And by the way, you guys should not forget the likes. I know you're busy taking out the notes. If you're not doing them physically, if you're taking mental notes, don't forget about me too, and some bit of comments there and there, just to give the brother company. I don't want to be alone here. My friend saying, you like deep conversations? Hey, Shao. There's a lot of people that are actually doing a bit of an injustice to this spirituality issue, because a lot of us, we like bashing people with it. You're like, yeah, did you know that you got 5 brain vibrations? Did you know that you got 2 brain waves? Did you know that you got this and that and that? Did you know that you are the alchemist? And people are looking at you and thinking, are you okay? You somehow gotta time it, You're a professional insomniac. You work in a mental health, and I can strongly, yeah, there's a spike, ne? So that spike, let me give you a bit of a tip as to what it could be. I'm not saying it is. It could be this. There's this energy that all of us love talking about. The Kundalini kind of type of jazz. It has something to do with that somehow. It's just that, I'm not a turner, I'm not a doctor where I can write the paper and submit it, for the people to take it up through. You just gotta tell it to the people that want to hear it. What happens is when that energy comes up, there are a lot of things that happens in your body, and there are a lot of things that get burned. One of the things that get burned is your illusion, the fallacies that you believe that the world is. A lot of people think that the world is all about hate. So when this energy comes, it burns the hate out of your ass. Now all of a sudden you get forced to love, and you don't know what love is. So you get into a state of what they call neurotic. When you are neurotic, you don't know what to choose from. It's like, should I hate or should I love? Some people call it cognitive dissonance. As a result, your body can't handle that too much of war that happens inside of it, in your brain. So your brain shoots out neurotic behavior. So you become anxiety attacked, or you become depressed or depressive. Long and short. How do you like that? So your body, because it's a chemical machine, it picks up those energies, and sometimes it goes into a destabilized mode. And if you can't handle that energy, a lot of people tend to go to a doctor very quickly, or if they get a bit sick, they pop a Disprin, or they pop a, what's the famous one now? There's a lot of ants on my hair, on my feet, on my food. That's why I'm busy doing this. They pop a bit of a pill. They take Grandpa. They're like, oh, too much headache. Let me take Grandpa. But what you don't understand is, if you were to wait and let that energy take its course, you might experience something different. But I'm not here to talk about Kundalini today because it's a bit of a spooky subject. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, Yeah, I'll get to the anxiety, joy, but I'll try to merge all of them in here. Back to this thing of the initiation. I don't know, how did I get to this now? I want to speak about the initiation story. By the way, have you guys considered this? In African culture, particularly Batswaning, Basotho, and a bit of Bapedi in there, exercise helps you a lot. I think it's one of the things that people need to consider, hey, because exercise can save your life, or it can save your life. And when I say exercise, I'm not talking about going to the gym, not that. And I'm neither not talking only about sex, because sex is also a form of an exercise, a very healthy one at that. But what I'm talking about is a form of a walk is an exercise. You don't need to get too deep into these things. I want to speak about the initiation story. A lot of people, Basotho, Batswaning, Bapeding, there's a word that they love saying. They love saying, Hotwasa. We're getting a bit like, hey. You've probably heard of that word, right? How to Hotwasa. Now, you will know that the people that normally go through that route are the people that are much more spiritually inclined. When I say spiritually inclined, these are the people that we hear them often talking about ancestors. They are the people that we hear them talking about energies that you can see. They will like, today, it helps a lot too, hey? I mean, like me now, I'm trying to shake off the ants that are on my foot because I'm walking bare feet. So now you can just imagine. It can get a bit messy whenever you are in nature though, but you gotta bear it out. So, so that you can get grounded, to also destabilize your root chakra, to clean that up. Being in contact in nature as well helps you with your sacral chakra. And being out in the sun helps you with your solar plexus, because solar plexus, sun chakra. Because solar plexus, sun chakra. But it burns too. That's that energy of the Kundalini that I was talking about. Back to the initiation. So initiation, it's the same thing as Hotwasa. Now, it gets a bit tricky now when it gets here to say, whoa, it's a bit fuzzy now. Who's supposed to do that? It's not as spooky as you might make it to be. I'm going to throw in a bit of scientific view on it so that you can take it with pride to say, yeah, I've been telling them. To Twasa, or to be this thing of that they call initiation. By the way, this thing of going to African school where you see now people, they say they're going to the mountains and stuff and all that. That is a very high technological machine or substance or an area of study. It's not to be made games with. Like we're seeing these days, people, they say, I just went to the mountain for 2 weeks and they come back. It doesn't work like that. The game is much more deeper than that. It's a metaphysical exercise, that, which is what we're talking about today, but on scientific terms, for you to be able to speak to the people that have degrees and, PhDs and masters and honors. Somehow you gotta be colloquially sound. You gotta use their language. Just now when you just come and stay telling them that initiation is this and that, and then they'll be like, whoa, we don't want to do that. Ciao. Just being out there in nature also helps too. Thank you very much for the comments, guys, for the likes. By the way, here I am. I'm finishing up the whole subject of 2 o'clock. Let me see how deep am I so that I stop. 43 minutes in. Okay. I have good 15 minutes. So let's make something with this 15 minutes. If you got a question, you can paste it. If you got a comment, you can paste it. If you, I can it's, yeah. Now, Miss Dumi, for those people, or for those that have been told that, sit around for the next couple of minutes. Let's break down that story. There was a period back when the Romans, and I want you to hear me out. This is not a historical lecture. It's not a research kind of type of thing. It's at least what I know or what I think I know. So don't quote me on it. And if you're recording, when you use this material, it will be at your own volition. I should not be cited, therefore. So, back in the days, the Romans had this exercise of conquering. What's a conqueror? Or what's conquering? Conquering, it's nothing but a very deadly sport of war. So if I see you having a bit of 15 people and you call yourselves a bit of a race, religion, culture, or so Rome was in the spot of saying, yeah, I'm gonna come and take it, and I got men, and I got weapons, and I got artillery, and I got the power, and I got the manpower to do it. What the heck are you gonna go do to that? And they will go and they will conquer your area, and guess what they do? They don't only kill you, they rewrite your fabric of existence. They rewrite your history. They make you do what they do because after all, you've been conquered. So you've been taken in. So now they will go on doing such a thing. But they didn't only stop there. Wherever where they get to become leaders of, or wherever where they get to conquer, they will obviously formulate some ideologies, beliefs, perspectives, philosophies, attitude, ways of living, such and such and such. The ways of eating, the ways of living, the ways of procreating, the ways of communicating to our deities, so on and so forth. So unfortunately, there will obviously be remnants of people, wherever where the conquering happened to be. There'll obviously be remnants of people that will be like, Romans, wait a bit. Because in as far as I know, I can take it back to culture or to the whole conquering thingy. It happens to be the Romans who were very good at conquering. So they up and on, they conquered everybody. They will come to your land, they will fuck it up, they will take your woman, they will sleep with them. Some people, they call it raping, but they'll procreate. There'll be a whole lot amount of mess. They will take our principles, they will take the way how we do things. If it doesn't work for them, they will call it history, or they will call it a myth. Mind you, with us, we didn't have the right, or we didn't have the need to write things down. That's why they'll tell you that a lot of African history, it's oral. It's not only oral, but it was written in us. There are 2 types of writing. This is an outside writing. There's a writing that happens in us in a form of genes, which, by the way, you have and I have. So our history is not like it was not written. It was written, but in us. So Rome did not only stop there, They took it further. They said, okay, fine. This bit of remnants of people that are trying to tell people that this is not the way on how to do things, we are going to kill them. That's when the Roman Inquisition period started. Or that's a long and short of what Roman Inquisition period is. Where you kill somebody who doesn't agree with you, you ubansa gagazi. Now, unfortunately, somehow that way of doing things trickled down to us here in the South. Our grandmothers were called witches. Just by change of word, right? Just by change of word. Why witches? Because if I'm sitting where I'm sitting right now, back in the days, because there was no Twitter, there was no YouTube, our elders, Bonkgono Barona, could speak to the others on the other side of the continent. That was called telepathy. That was called cosmic communication. That was called the so-called ether, the Akash, blah, blah, blah. Now, unfortunately, they didn't like that, and they couldn't understand it because they couldn't do it. To us as Africans, it was not a taboo. It was not a magic. We used to do it like that. That's how it's done. But now, with the whole thing of the so-called technology, a telephone was invented, whereby there were wires that can connect, and for somebody to speak to somebody on the other side of the globe, it can be done through the wire. That is called technology, telephone, who's this guy that has been credited with Edison. Imagine! Or who came about with the telephone? So the telephone came about to be like that. But unfortunately, some of our grandmothers and grandfathers and our forefathers could still do that. But because they couldn't do it, the people that conquered us, they called them witches, and they were burned at stakes and killed. And unfortunately, the same went with our religious contextual view, with our philosophy, with our understanding, with our morale, with our justice, with our harmony, with our peace. Why do you think we are prone to depression? It's because we've been tilted out of excess. If you take something out of excess, it's fucked up forever. You can't fix it just like that. So every time when I speak to you guys about paradigm shift, and I try to make it sound scientifical, it's deeper and it's much more hurtful than that. We messed up in many ways. That's why we have to go to do work. We have to go to work. I mean, a lot of people have been asking me, aren't you getting tired? Every single day you're always running your mouth, and you're always laughing and cracking. Then I'm like to them, you know what? If you can get a person that can put in overtime to get something on an outside, why is it weird that if somebody puts in overtime to get something on an inside, why is it weird? It's because our brain needs to be sought out. Our brain needs to be changed. And it's not a Cocomelon topic. It don't need people that are just gonna, jump in and jump out here. No, it don't work like that. And if you're not gonna do it, unfortunately, you're gonna have to do it. Just gonna, jump in and jump out here. No, it don't work like that. And if you're not gonna do it, unfortunately, you're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have. Well, is it back? Is it back? I think I have some couple of minutes left. It don't do them. It don't do me like that. Dr. Mkhozi, I can see that you're on. Yes, you're back. All right, cool. So a lot of us as people, we have a whole host amount of psychological work that we have to do. But it's not only psychological work. It's also mental work. It's also emotional work. It's also spiritual work. It's also soul work. But unfortunately, we are only doing physical work. And it makes it a bit tricky when you start talking to people about that. It almost sounds as if like you're compelling them to do something. But they don't understand that that's a linguistical mistake. No one is compelling you. No one is actually pulling you, or no one is pushing you. It's something that is inside of you that is actually paving a way for you. Basically, that's what I want to speak about at 2 o'clock. This thing of initiation, it's not supposed to be a fearful exercise. When you're about to go through that exercise and you are guided or pulled by fear, sit down, pull back a bit, think about it, look at it, take your time. Because it's a very slippery slope. If I initiate you based on fear, it will be very easy for me to take money out of you. So it goes all like this. It's a very slippery slope. So now it ends up becoming a money-making machine, and it loses the whole context, because you are getting initiated, or you are initiating yourself, or you are twisting, or you are getting twice because you want to grow, not because you want to remain on guilt. You don't want to remain on fear. You don't want to remain on this. And by the way, at 2 o'clock, I want to tell you guys something that probably has not been said a lot. The whole exercise of initiation kind of type of thing, you can't do it yourself. You are supposed to self-initiate. And I want to tell you guys what initiation is, but mostly I'm talking about what it's not. So if you want to know what it is, join in at 2 o'clock. And by the way, this is not a taboo science. This is a science. This is not a taboo topic. This is a science. I mean, like, you would know that in your body, you got cells, you got genes, you got a genome structure, you got the proteins, you got the amino acids, you got whatever. But in actual fact, if we take you to the digital part of you, you are nothing but zeros and ones. The computer uses the binary. The matrix, you'll normally see that they use the zeros and ones. So if you take it a little bit scientifically high, you will know that you are made with codes that can self-correct. It gets a bit dark because now... people are used to scheme some, bruh. When you start speaking about the codes, people are like, bruh, no. Some people will tell you, you lost me there by the sales, bruh. The moment when you went into those things, I don't know. But if you want to know more about that, join me at 2 o'clock. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, Mazet, that's what we're going to be talking about. So, Black Root Science, you late. I'm about to hop off now. We're talking about initiation, but mostly at 2 o'clock I want to show you guys that self-initiation, that's the way it's supposed to be. Because which energies are you working on here? Why do you think that when you go to, that Magogo that you normally go at 2 o'clock in the morning, you don't want people to know that you are consulting? So when you go to consult, you don't normally do around your area, you'll rather skip a town or maybe go at very unusual hours. So when you are there, the traditional healer cannot work with you if you're not there, per se. Why? You're working on, we are working on your energies. People are working on your energies. Otherwise, there are forms that our Africans knew that you can initiate, or you can heal, or you can pray for somebody even if they're not there. These days, the bestest that they can do, they take a little bit of the cloth, or they take a picture. There's a lot of things that is happening that we think we know. We don't know jack brass. But by the way, if you're thinking it's a taboo science, that is quantum physics. Quantum physics postulates the following. No matter how far distance atoms can be apart, they are intrinsically intertwined. So if you touch another atom on the other side, if it's connected to that atom, the other atom is going to react almost at the same time. So if I move it here, it moves here. So it's not only traditional science, it's also quantum physics. For you people that have PhDs, it's not a dark topic. It's a very light topic. You just need to open up your... So, this is how messed up we are as people. How our value system is turned a bit upside down. People tend to look at you weird when you buy a book for $500. But they don't find it weird for buying a bottle worth of $1,000. Now, me and you, let's sit down and just look at these two things, because I want to finalize with that. This is a knowledge that's not only going to awaken yourself, or awaken your genes, or clean your cells, or regenerate your livelihood, or empower your consciousness, and you can pass it possibly to your kids, and your kids can pass it to your kids. But now you get something that you pay $1,000 that you're going to piss overnight. That's probably going to fuck up your kidneys, fuck up your whole metabolism system, mess up the whole brain, whatever. By the way, I'm not talking down on this. Oh, we love ourselves this. We don't have a problem with this. But I'm trying to show you that our value systems as people are a little bit upside down. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and it can't be done overnight. So obviously we're going to have to go the extra mile. We're going to have to buy books. We're going to have to research the books. We're going to have to go to seminars. We're going to have some people, I know some people are buying programs online on YouTube, because if you're interested in something, something will be interested in you. So if you're not interested in your soul is not going to be interested in you. It don't work like that. You don't think that now you're going to just get cosmic knowledge, but now you only spend 10 minutes in reading, and when you read a book, you feel like you want to sleep. I know a lot of people that are like that. But let me hop off. I think my time is up. 2 minutes left. So this is what we want to do. At 2 o'clock, we're talking about the initiation. You're touching on something that needs deep work. Hey, we're not ready. Hey, we're not ready, Mister. Hey, we're not ready. We're not ready. Oh my word, we're not ready. I mean, you get people that still think that a pair of shoes can make you happy. The same shoe that's gonna max your credit card, and 30 minutes